Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blue Steel Tarot. Today is Sunday, March 19th, and I'm here for your weekly reading. Hope everyone had a wonderful St. Patty's Day. I know we did here in Boston. Of course, it's a lot of Irish people in Boston, and so a lot of people come to visit Boston, too, around the time of St. Patty's Day. So if you haven't been, I certainly would recommend it. We have a lot of great places, a lot of great, there's certainly a lot of great pubs and everything, but it's awesome like in the summer because you can hit a lot of the waterfront restaurants, bars, and other places. There's a lot to do besides just drinking here in Boston, but so let's get into the reading for the week. Let's just do a couple. I'm just going to do like one question. I'm going to say, what do we need to know this week? Okay, we'll pull 6 cards. I'll look at the 3 cards that are on the bottom too for any outside guidance. You know what I'm going to say too this time is that if I pause, it's probably because I'm just kind of processing something and kind of allowing something to come to me and to make a little bit of sense. So if I pause during the video, you haven't disconnected or we haven't lost any connection. I'm just probably taking a second to kind of breathe and allow whatever messages to come through. So, because I do feel like sometimes we'll keep talking for fear that like people think you've disconnected. So I just want to kind of let things settle a little bit. So we'll do that a little bit differently this time. So one last shuffle. I'll cut the deck. Let's see now what we have on the bottom. Now that I just cut it. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the bottom. Okay, so we have the Devil. We have the 9 of Pentacles. And we have the 9 of Wands. Okay, so it's interesting that you have 2 9s here. So very interesting. I like having the Devil there. We'll see what the other cards kind of say. Hey, the Devil is something that's kind of, maybe it's leaving something behind that's kind of been holding us back, or it could be, something along that line. Because I think maybe you're just kind of fed up. Maybe you're fed up with something that's going on, and you're kind of leaving it behind. The 9 and the 10 are kind of like, hey, we're at the end here. So, particularly the 9 of Wands. He's kind of like the wounded warrior here. I mean, look at he's kind of got on the, he's got like a bandage on his head. Could be a little bit tired, but he's kind of like pausing after like a long journey, right? Throughout the experience of all the wands. And we know that, he has one final stretch to go. So this could be approaching the end, or approaching some final destination, and really kind of escaping something that really hasn't been serving us anymore. It's kind of like held us onto the past. So it could be an insecurity, it could be a relationship, a job, something else that might be kind of represented here by the Devil. But let's see what other cards come up. So I'll put these over here for now. And we'll pull the first card, the Knight of Cups. The 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so that's really interesting, right? Because we also have the 9 over here that were on the bottom of the deck. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Tower. Okay, so the Tower came up last week. I think, we had a few comments about the Tower coming up. So we have the 9 of Swords. So we've got 3 9s already represented here, which is kind of interesting. And we have the 8 of Wands. Okay, so let's start with the top here. So what I like about the top is that we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is complete security. This is financial security, financial abundance. This is the home life and the value. This is having made it, reached a pinnacle, a certain milestone perhaps, it just came to me. So this could be reaching a milestone with work or something like a side gig, whatever it could be, whatever it might be. But regardless, like this card, and it's very, I know I don't usually use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck all that often. Today I was just like, you know what, let's just use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. It's the traditional, one of the oldest, probably, the oldest deck maybe. Certainly compared to the ones that I use. It's definitely been around the longest. But the 10 of Pentacles is kind of like having reached that financial security, that financial, like, it's like, okay, you've made it. You're in a good spot financially. But what I like about it is, look at this. We have the cups on each side of it, right? So amongst this home life and this financial security, I have the Knight of Cups. He's coming in. And then I've got the Page of Cups. But what's really awesome about it in the manner in which we pull these, the order, is that they're facing one another. Okay. So this could be like a wonderful partnership, something coming in. This is definitely like an overflowing of emotions. I mean, here the Page of Cups, there's like a fish coming out of the cup. Of course, there's water in the background, so it kind of aligns with that whole theme. But what I really like about this is, again, like they're facing one another. So I feel like the Knight of Cups is somebody like kind of like rushing in, and then this one of these could be you and one is the other person, but it's definitely, I know that they're males, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like it doesn't have to mean like you're a male. It just could be just two people coming together. And I think what this is saying is like, look at this, like when you come together, it is like that final sense of like complete fulfillment. Like this is it. Like this is a solid relationship, person, or whatever the case might be. So this might not resonate with everybody, but I mean, if this is something that resonates with you, and I know I say this is for the week of March 19th, give it a little bit of time to kind of play out and kind of hold that, apply the law of attraction here, right? Hold that genuine optimism and almost like expectation. Kind of start to visualize what this could be like if you're single, and if you're not single, maybe you don't want to visualize what a person coming into your life expressing their love and affection for you, or kind of that spark. But I think if like seeing this, right, this is maybe an opportunity to kind of get your conscious mind thinking about like, what does a fulfilling, exciting relationship, partnership, what kind of relationship is it? First of all, it could be this could be a partnership in some sort of like a money or a business venture, frankly, with the Nine of Pentacles here, because it's not the Ten of Cups, but cups on each side is certainly emotions, love, and affection, that kind of thing. So it could be either or. I think what you want to do is applying the law of attraction here is get very clear in your mind, kind of like what kind of relationship you're looking for, and what that looks and feels like to you. What does this person bring? How does this person make you feel? And I think when you start to explore and allow your subconscious mind to do this too, and when I say that, like basically what I'm thinking is start to ask yourself those open-ended questions, because what happens is your conscious mind can ask the question sort of like, what would it be like if, this amazing relationship just kind of came into my life and changed my life? What would my life look like? And you can start to explore. Your conscious mind will look for answers to that question. I'm sorry, your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will look for answers to that question. The Knight of Cups, I mean, he's moving forward. He's coming in. He's not coming in as fast as maybe the Knight of Wands, but he's definitely coming in. He's definitely coming towards you. So I think this is certainly a wonderful thing. Like I said, the Ten of Pentacles here, this is financial abundance. This is the financial security. This is having the foundation, the family life. You've made it. You're comfortable. And maybe like getting to the Ten of Pentacles could also represent like, you've had great success in this, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of letting these things come to me, and they're flowing out of my mouth as they come into my mind. Is that you've reached this financial abundance? Now it's time to focus on the relationship. Okay, maybe you've been so focused with work, or or maybe you're reaching a milestone, and now it's time to let this be the next piece that comes into your life. I really love this layout. I know I've said that a couple of times. Really, really love it. The bottom of the deck, if we just think about it from like, a little bit of like additional insight, this does kind of confirm to me a couple of things. The nine of Pentacles followed by the 10 here kind of indicates like, yeah, you're reaching the end of the line on something. You're getting somewhere, and maybe the struggle, maybe the work that you're putting in is finally starting to show up. Okay, with these two nines over here and this 10 over here. The bottom row is an interesting one, in that, we have the Tower. So we talked about the Tower last week, and what I do actually really love this card, because in this deck and others, in general, because people, like, whether they're jumping, they're falling, they're leaving this Tower, which is on fire, it's crumbling, it's just losing its foundation, and everything about this, the stability has been kind of shaken to the core. So it could be in regards to this. I mean, maybe this relationship is really going to shake you. It's really going to catch you off guard, right? So when I see the Tower, sometimes it's kind of like it's significant, it is powerful. It's not necessarily bad, right? And I think we talked a little bit about this in some of the comments last week. It's not necessarily bad at all. It just could be like a complete, like, you feel like everything is secure. You feel like you've got this solid habit, experience, whatever the case might be, and something is going to call that into question. Okay, now what's interesting here is to me is this whole the Nine of Swords, and part of me is like, if I were to say what card is unlike all the others, I'm kind of like it's the Nine of Swords. However, when we come back to these ones, I've got 3 nines, and there's only 4 nines in the deck. We have 3 of them represented here. These 2, of course, are on the bottom, giving a little bit more insight. So maybe, you're reaching the end of the line as far as, the work and effort you've put into work and a passion project or something else. And maybe let's kind of think about this for a second. And I shouldn't say think, because I'm trying to let intuition kind of get in here for a minute, right? Look at these 3 cards together. This could be like the huge change that you're waiting on. This could be a huge change coming in, kind of breaking with this subconscious belief that we have that maybe, relationships are hard and they bring a lot of hurt and pain. This could call this into question, right? So what you might need to do here is kind of let yourself feel whatever this is with these 2 cards. Allow yourself to feel it here. But also, here's the thing, and let me tell you a little bit about, let's draw this back to the law of attraction, right? Is that if you have an experience, let's say you have an experience in a relationship and it's a painful breakup. You have this experience, and what that does is it creates an emotion. That emotion starts to get embedded into your subconscious mind. And then you think back about your relationship. You talk about it, the breakup. Let's say it's a breakup. You talk about the breakup with your friends, your family, your parents, your siblings, whomever, your therapist, whatever. And the more and more you talk about it, what happens is it almost becomes embedded in your subconscious, so that when you start to reflect and think back, or you start to think about relationships, you kind of go to this pain. You almost start to relive this painful experience and emotion. You might need to be very consciously aware of that. So I would encourage you, as part of this weekly reading, and maybe this is the key takeaway, explore any subconscious beliefs you have about relationships that are not serving you. And that could be, take out a piece of paper, write them down. What do I believe about relationships? I believe relationships are blank. And see what your mind, just allow your mind to run. Just write on the paper. Don't question it. You don't have to show it to anybody. You can burn it afterwards. You can throw it out, whatever you want to do. Kind of get that out on paper, because really what you need to do is probably evaluate what limiting beliefs. Because somebody hurt you before doesn't mean somebody else another person, a new person is going to. So I really kind of want to encourage you to do that. And that just kind of came to me as I was looking at these. So I'm kind of looking at this as almost like it's almost like a trifecta, right? It's like the 3 of a kind here. Because this looks really good. It's just that this is going to, and maybe this again, it could be that something comes in, feels so good that it really rattles you, and because your subconscious beliefs keep bringing something like this up, that pain, and you don't want to get hurt again, and that's understandable. But I think again, we need to be open. We need to be open to all these experiences, and there may be some pain, but there's obviously a lot of great things that can come out of this. So instead of framing it and trying to protect yourself, because your subconscious mind and in your body, which ultimately is tied to your subconscious mind, seeks to protect you from harm. So this is all tied into the experiences and the way you react and behave when your body feels like it's in danger. And if you've experienced hurt and you continue to relive this in your mind, and you feel the pain, you feel the abandonment, you feel the loneliness, it can kind of become embedded in there. So be consciously aware of that, because I mean, I think whatever's going to happen is, like, I think if you can eradicate those feelings, you're going to make great progress, and it's going to become fast, right? I think that there could be some significant messages coming in. And again, I think that this kind of ties back to this. So I do get a sense of, like, whatever this is, it's coming in fast. The Eight of Wands is really all about, it's about movement. I mean, eights in general about movement, right? I love this card, and I love it in all the decks. These wands, they're almost like, I almost feel like you're on, like, ever played dodgeball? I play dodgeball now with a group of people, and it's kind of crazy because I'm way outside of, like, elementary and middle school, and I never thought I'd be playing dodgeball at this age. But it kind of reminds me of, like, playing dodgeball, and when everybody, the balls are just coming flying at you. These wands, they're coming in hot, they're coming in fast. You might remember in the Pride Tarot deck, rather than wands, or they do, it's like Eight of Wands, but they illustrate it through somebody who's putting a series of envelopes on it, like almost like a clothesline. So that to me kind of represents a communication, right? So everyone, everyone has their own interpretation of the card, but that is definitely one of them. So I think this is really exciting. I think this is really an exciting week for you. Again, I think I would be looking at, like, this top row, thinking about, like, hey, this tower could come in. I mean, this could really come in and rattle you. But I think you want to try to maybe uncover what some of your subconscious beliefs are. If you really want to achieve this, you need to kind of identify what these subconscious beliefs that are holding you back, tied to negative emotions, and see if we can kind of peel that back and see if you can kind of think about, okay, just because one person hurt me, he hurt me, she hurt me, whatever, or I felt abandoned, I felt betrayed, I felt this. Those are all very, very valid emotions, to be very clear. But I also think that it can help all of us. It helps all of us to unpack what's holding us back and preventing us from moving on and having everything that we desire. And I think this is a great place to be. So with that, definitely hit some of the law of attraction connections this time, which is kind of exciting. It just kind of came out naturally to me. So as always, drop any questions, comments, ideas, thoughts down below. Hopefully some of this resonates with you. If it doesn't, certainly come back again next week, but also kind of check back later in the week and maybe listen to it again and just see if there's anything in there that makes you, that kind of will resonate or make any sense at all. So I love the questions. Keep them coming. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll be back again soon.